Hey, what's up guys, it's Nick2 and today I'm going to be showing you guys a pretty crazy pistol build that I made specifically for PvP. If you want a PvE version, leave a like on this video and I'll make one pretty soon. But anyways, this build is just a lot of fun to use because you can, if set up properly, one-shot people or just two-shot them normally without heading the defender drone. But you can also, instead of using a D50, if you are worried about landing headshots or something like that, you can also use an M1911 and actually do pretty good with it. The build is pretty nice because you get to use the shield, which people have a very hard time shooting you through. So this gives you a lot of cover while actually being able to do a pretty decent amount of damage. You'd think you wouldn't do very much damage using a pistol build, but you actually can do a lot if you set it up right. Now, I don't have a lot of gameplay with this. Reason being is, as of right now on PC, I don't know why I queued for Conflict trying to get some gameplay, and I literally sat in queue for an hour. And I need to make this video and do some other stuff, so sorry for the lack of gameplay. But as you can see in the intro clips there, you're able to two-shot people with the D50 in normalized, even one-shot people, especially in occupied. You could just set the build up even better, especially with an M1911. You could literally three-shot people in occupied if you wanted to, and even one-shot, like the title says, if you hit somebody's drone with the Liberty exotic and then getting the buff there. So starting off with the build, I guess we can just talk about weapons real quick, and then I'll go into some other stuff. So first off, you can use either, I would recommend either the Liberty because of the holster talent that gives you, after destroying like a weak point, you get extra 500% weapon damage and 100% extra. If that shot kills an enemy, you can just refill the mag and then you get 100% extra damage, which will let you run around just one-shotting people anyway, which is crazy once you get this buff up. But yeah, I mean, being able to just shoot at the drone and then one-shot somebody is pretty crazy, especially because a lot of people use defender drone nowadays. But you don't have to use the Liberty. You could just use a normal D50 and then also just two-tap people, and you could use a talent here, maybe like Ranger, close and personal, whatever you want to use there. Entirely up to you. And for the second talent, if I'm using a D50, I'd probably want stable, but it doesn't really matter too much there. Or if you don't really want to rely on landing those headshots and you'd rather just have something that is more consistent damage, less risk, less reward, you could use an M1911. This is what I have here. I have a Legger on it in breadbasket. You could probably go for some different talents. I don't really know what to put on a pistol, but good thing about M1911 is that you're able to mod it with extra crit chance on the barrel here, and then headshot damage on the bottom. And then I think you can also get extra 11 rounds, which makes it have a huge amount of rounds, right? Pretty much your call here, whichever one you want to use. The build is going to be pretty strong regardless. In terms of the specialization, I'm running sharpshooter. Main reason is because you can't really get sidearm damage on any of the specialists, so I just decided to go for sharpshooter for the headshot damage, the increased reload speed, and the extra stability helps a lot when using the deagle. So in terms of overall damage, this is definitely what you're going to want to be using. So the set kind of looks like a fuckfest. I pretty much just tried to get as much pistol damage as I possibly could. There is a different route you could go here. You could go 5.77 and then ditch two-piece True Patriot and just try to get on the ropes and Unstoppable Force. I wanted to go for full damage though, so that's what I did with this build. I got two-piece True Patriot for the extra damage to armor, which is multiplicative on top of all your other damage, meaning that it's going to give you 10% extra damage on top of the damage that you're already doing. This is very strong, especially with the pistol build, because if you're trying to two-shot people, you're going to hit them one shot, and that's probably not going to, you're going to hit them one time, that's probably not going to hit all their armor off, and then the second time, you're still getting that extra damage, and that's probably going to be able to two-shot them. Whereas with another build, the damage to armor only counts for their armor, of course, so somebody with a vector build or something like that might be difficult to take them down. But with this, it doesn't matter because you'll be getting that extra damage for both of your two shots, which will then already kill the person. So that's great. I mean, the extra damage here is huge. And then for the other pieces, I just have R&K here for the extra pistol damage. Alps gloves, doesn't really matter here. I just have it for the extra stats. And then an Alps chest for the same reason, for the extra stats. Now going into individual rolls here, I decided to go for a little bit of crit, even though I can two-shot without critting. When I do crit, it's a lot of extra damage, and even if I'm at a very long range, I'll still be able to crit people. And it's especially strong when using an M1911 because you could kill people potentially in one bullet faster. Also, two-piece True Patriot is always going to have crit on it, on the mask and the knee pads, so I just decided might as well go for crit. The reason that I went for mask and knee pads on True Patriot is because you don't get talents on True Patriot, so running it on mask and knee pads means that I'm not losing any other potential damage because you can't get damage to enemy players on the mask or on the knee pads in the form of a talent. And then for the attribute here, just got crit chances, could be a little bit higher, is what it is. Health, pretty decent here. Not really anything else worth getting there. For the chest piece, you might be wondering why wouldn't I go for something else. Reason is Alps, I can get 2 really large red attribute rolls here. In the patch, I probably wouldn't run Alps anymore, but as of right now, if I'm trying to get as much damage as possible, this is what I'm going to be doing. I got 12 headshot, 9 weapon damage. This could be a little bit higher. The armor roll here is actually pretty big. If this armor roll wasn't so high, I could easily have about 12% weapon damage here and like 15%, if not more, headshot damage. So, but pretty decent chest piece here. For the talent, I have capacitive. This is actually this is not what I want. I want to have hardened here, but when I was trying to re-roll it, which I can actually show you guys, I guess this is new knowledge to me. I guess you can't get hardened on an Alps chest because I'm trying to roll it. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of chest pieces here with hardened. I tried to roll it. Oh, I can't even show you guys. But I was trying to roll it, and I just couldn't get hardened on it. So I guess that's news to me that you can't get hardened on an Alps chest. I didn't know about that, but the more you know. And then for the mod slots here, I got some pretty nice system and generic mods here. I got a utility system generic mod that gives me damage to armor, a defensive protocol that gives me 3.5% headshot damage, and another defensive system mod that gives me 3% pistol damage. Just gives me a ton of extra damage overall, where otherwise I wouldn't be gaining all that much damage. If I didn't have these generic mods, I might go for a different chest piece where I could get like an offensive system, because with an offensive system, you could get over 6.5% weapon damage if you have the right mod, which is probably going to be more worth than having, you know, just a little bit extra damage here. It just depends on your rolls. But with this build, mainly what I'm trying to do is just get as much pure weapon damage as humanly possible. With my holster here, the RNK holster is actually pretty good. You definitely want to go for the RNK. If you're going for RNK, you definitely want to go for the holster backpack combo here. Reason being, the holster has an offensive system, whereas most other holsters are going to have offensive protocol here. For my attributes, I got crit chance, nothing really else worth going for there. And then for the talent, of course, I have precise so that I can 2-tap people. And then for the mod slot, offensive system for pistol damage, 1.5% weapon damage and 4% pistol damage. This could be higher, but 5.5 is still very strong. It could be 6.5, but hey, that's the best that I got. For the backpack here, pretty much trying to do the same thing, just getting as much offensive as possible. You definitely want to get weapon damage here and an offensive system mod. For the talent, I went for hardened just for extra armor. And then I have a little bit of armor here. As you can tell, my total armor isn't that high. It'd be way higher if I had like a different chest piece that was giving me armor and I actually had the hardened talent, but I'm not too worried about it, especially because when I whip out the shield, I have a lot of survivability as it is. So just having a lot of armor isn't too big of a deal. And like I said, I'm just trying to make this build as fun as possible and getting myself as much damage as possible. So for the backpack, just want to go for weapon damage here. I could get crit chance instead of crit damage. Like I think I have one with like, yeah, 7% crit chance here. That would be nice, but not too big of a deal. I'd much rather rely on just pure weapon damage as opposed to, you know, getting lucky with crit chance or something like that. Instead of tech support, there's not really anything else I could get here that would be worth it, because I wouldn't be able to unlock it with the rolls that I have here. And then I have hardened, which is great. And then I have an offensive system here with weapon damage and pistol damage. Oh, honorable mention, actually. As you can see, I'm at 11.5. If for some reason you were able to set it up, maybe had like more defensive mods or something, you could go, what would this be, 9.7 here, so that you could unlock Unstoppable Force if you enjoy that play style. I just wanted to make it to where I had pretty much 100% uptime on just doing as much damage as possible. But if I were to swap my chest piece maybe, you know, to get an extra defensive here, like on this chest piece or something, I'd be at like 6, and then I could get an extra defensive maybe on like my backpack instead of the crit damage, and that would put me to 9.7 and unlocking Unstoppable Force, which would be a ton of extra damage after you kill somebody. But like I said, I just prefer to have more consistent damage. And for the system mod here, such as extra weapon damage. And the reason that I run Alps gloves instead of something like Araldi or something is because Alps gloves are, you can get a high weapon damage roll here. This could be 13%. I have 9%, not bad. But you can get a weapon damage roll here, and you can get a talent, and you can get an offensive protocol mod, which for me, I have 1% weapon damage and 3.5% headshot damage. This could be a little bit better, but best I have so far. And I also went for precise here. Other gloves, you can't get the talent and the mod slot and the high roll, like Araldi gloves. No mod slot here, so would much rather just have the offensive mod slot with Alps, even though I'm not getting very much from the bonus here. I guess if you wanted to, you could go Araldi gloves and then like Araldi holster, but then you'd lose True Patriot, and you'd have to go True Patriot like backpack or something, and then you lose hardened. So I guess you could do that. but then you lose the offensive system, but you gain the 10% headshot damage. I don't know, it's up to you. You could do a combination like that, but I just prefer to have it like this. And then for the knee pads here, I got damage to armor on True Patriot, of course, and then I have a pretty high crit chance roll here. But a big thing is I got a generic protocol that gives me 4% headshot damage. I know a lot of you might not have this, but in the patch, I think that you're going to be able to craft these. Not 100% sure on that, but once the patch goes live, I think you'll be able to craft them, and if so, that'll make setting up these types of builds much easier for most people. And then for the mods here, I got what's it called? Where is it? A chem launcher, just for the extra heal. Not a big deal there. And then I have the bulwark shield that has a lot of HP, but when I pull it out, it blocks a ton of bullets, and you can only see. Actually, I could just run down here and show you. It's really good when you pull out the shield because people can only shoot at your arm. So they have to kind of shoot the shield, which means that you can pretty much just do free damage to them while they're shooting at the shield. As you can see, you only see my arm here, which makes it pretty strong. And then for the other mod, you can go Defender Drone if you want to, but that's what I have. And then in terms of my overall stats, probably have, yeah. So my crit chance isn't too high, and the crit damage also is pretty low, but I mean, extra damage is extra damage, right? Might as well get it. 143% headshot damage, which is pretty huge headshot damage there. And then I have 42% all weapon damage bonus. Actually, I don't even think I have the pistol toggled. Yeah, once I got the pistol toggled, I got higher crit chance here and higher headshot damage actually because I have the magazine there. And then I have 17% all weapon damage bonus. This went down because I had unhinged on my LMG. 39% pistol damage bonus and 12% damage to armor. My health and stuff isn't all that high, but like I said before, I'm not really trying to prioritize that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The build is pretty strong. You do a ton of damage, and yeah, it's just, you know, overall just a fun thing to use. If you want to see a PvE version of this build, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to like the video, as that'll tell me how much you guys actually would like to see that. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe for videos similar to this one. Follow me on Twitch, as I stream every single day. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.